Oh,
That's
there we
it.
go.
There.
Oh, perfect.
All right.
And I did forward this over to you, Brian, last night, thinking just in case you hadn't seen it, but so I apologize for
Okay.
the late submission. But so I can tell you what we've done since we last met. We did do field survey along the shoulder here to collect all the existing trees and detail in the adjacent driveway here. This is for 215, 215's driveway. We also, per record information, got as much of the utilities in Atlantic Ave as we could. The gas was marked out, which was great. So we have that location. We verified the location of the existing flushing manhole at the end of the existing pressure main. And our goal would be to keep our E1 pump up near the house. So we're within, I think it's 21 feet of the proposed dwelling. This side wall here is where the sewer comes out of the building. We'd also have the control panel right next to the outlet. E1 pump located to the right of the existing driveway, come sort of through the front yard, around some drainage, and then down through the shoulder here, and then run right along a few feet off the curb line. To minimize, I can zoom that in so you could see there are quite a few trees within this area and a fence along here. So we're trying to avoid all of that by coming closer to the road and running along the shoulder, running across the two driveways. This also hopefully avoids this ledge outcrop coming around and tying into the existing pressure main.
Okay, so are we avoiding all trees with that route?
We are the one that's the closest, which is one where I left a note on the plan. So if they come into an issue with the root system right here, we are off. I kind of tucked the sewer as close to the curb line as possible to not encroach in that tree as much as possible. That would be the one where we may want to raise the service up higher than the required 5-foot depth, I believe, and insulate it. But, you know, until you get out there, I don't know what that root system looks like. But yes, we are ultimately coming down through here, avoiding all trees in this area here, and then running right along the shoulder to avoid all the trees.
Okay, I think just one thing for consideration is
Sure.
so this is, and I think I mentioned it last time, this is a what's it called? Scenic road
Scenic road.
bylaw.
Mm-hmm.
And if the tree does need to be removed, or if I think it's if you remove more than 20% or 30% of the roots, the tree is not survivable or something like that. So
Yep.
I would, you know, just to avoid any I'd preemptively kind of apply for, if you really think you're going to hit a tree, is preemptively look for its removal through the planning board process.
Okay, through a scenic road hearing.
Yeah, and I mean, a DPW has to do this regularly for things that we do, so it's
Yeah.
Cassandra Thayer is our planning board person.
Sure. So that would be the only one where I'd wonder if we may not hit 20% of the root system there. But again, it's probably worth having the permit just in case.
Yeah, and you're out of the roadway, the road surface.
That's what that was my goal, was to try to stay out of the road surface, and we're running right along the edge of the driveway here and the edge of the driveway here. I did in those two sections since we're very close to the edge of the road itself. Just so that we minimize any settling area there. And the only place where within the road would be the tie-in here.
Right, and so 1.25 inches is good enough size for whatever the pump system.
Yes, I ran it through the E1 Design Center, and I received preliminary design report stating that the 1.25 inch was adequate. They also mentioned, oh, now I'm gonna forget a different, SDR 11 for pipe, but I think your requirements require to bump it up to 21, so I've increased it to an SDR 21 PVC pipe.
And Dan, you reviewed this, you're good?
Yeah, I did. There wasn't too much. I mean, you addressed pretty much everything I put in the original review. Excuse me. The only thing was Costello. I'm not sure if they're on the
Okay.
licensed drain layer lists. Carol was going to check that.
I will
Okay.
as soon as this is, as soon as the meeting's over.
Yep, and I'll check in with Ryan as he was the one who filled out the application.
And the other thing is if you were going to go shallower,
Yep,
you know, it may be good to do that in advance too with the sewer commission because they have to accept their waiver.
okay, so I do have that in a note, so it's note 4 here. You can see that, maybe I can zoom closer.
Yeah.
That would be minimum cover, 5 feet would be provided, shallower cover with pipe insulation may be approved by Cohasset with a
Right.
waiver.
The thing
By
is,
the-
you don't want to stop construction in the middle of things, and
Sure,
so it might be good just to get that signed and submitted to this sewer commission up front. And
okay,
then, you know, before you actually do it, designate those areas or call in and let people know.
okay. Is there an application that Ryan would need to fill
Um,
out?
There is. Carol
Okay.
should have that, and Carol, if you don't, I can send you a copy.
Yeah, please. If you can send me a copy, that'd be great. I just want to make sure I have the right one.
That'd be awesome, and
Sorry.
I'll get that going.
The only other application is, so even if you're off the roadway, street opening permit within the right of way, any public right of way.
Yes,
Apply for that at DPW. So
Yep,
we can mark
and-
the signage.
I have that as a note as well, just a reminder for the contractor. Yep,
Okay.
Right, you also have flowable fill in there too, right?
yes, I do. Yep. So anywhere where it's gonna be in paved, I kind of tried to highlight it here so it was clear to the contractor where he needed to use flow. So anywhere where there have pavement, since we're so close to the road, I figured it was worthwhile putting some flowable fill in there.
Is the water all set? I think they had a stub right there at the driveway, right? You don't need to go to the water commission.
No, there is an existing stub right at the driveway. I know Ryan has also applied for a potable well up here, and so I think if this well produces adequate water, he may not do that tie-in.
Really?
I'm not 100% sure, but I can verify that with Ryan.
It's right next to the ocean.
On 3 sides almost.
Yeah. A little salty.
Yeah. So I mean, he did file for that, so that was my understanding, but I'll double check with him. And he did clarify to me that, and I believe he corrected the application as well, that there are no sump pumps proposed. But I would definitely say we do have, as Dan mentioned, we have opportunities here with the subsurface drainage chambers that if one was installed, we can tie it into those.
Yeah, the only other thing I had was when you do get whatever you get from the Concom, that you send the
Yep.
commission a copy as well.
Okay, yep. Yeah, what we have an order of conditions. What I'll talk to Charlotte about is amending it to include this service
Great.
portion.
So while you brought that up, the question, so you have infiltrator galleries for the any kind of, what are they down? like
Rooftops.
Site drainage and
Roof.
gutters?
Yes, for the roof dry wells, for the collection of the roof surface, we have two here and a rain garden, which will also help treat the driveway.
So is there an overflow on those infiltrators, and where would that go?
The overflow to both of them go into the rain garden, which then overflows into the ocean.
Okay, so we don't need to worry about street flooding. It's okay, very good.
Yeah, the other thing the planning board asked, actually, conservation is the one who asked for it, was we have a perforated pipe along the property line to minimize flow coming onto Atlantic Ave. And that is directed into the rain garden as well. So we're trying to minimize any of the runoff coming off the property into Atlantic Ave.
Sounds good. And the utility drawings you got up there, did you have the MassDOT? Did you get those drawings from MassDOT?
These two trench details?
No, just the utility information you have on this plan, was it derived from the MassDOT Cunningham Bridge project? So they installed that water line that was out there. I believe there's a hydrant and such.
Yeah, I will have to double check that, but like the survey was completed over a year plus ago. So I'll have to double check with our survey to find out where it was, but I believe we
Oh.
had,
Yeah, probably not, because I don't think the drain or the sewer are really shown here too.
Yeah. So I'll see if I don't know if I have it digitally, but I mean, it's a
Okay.
pretty big set. I would just make sure that, this coincides or this matches up to what DOT did. So all the utilities,
Okay.
drainage, water, and the temporary sewer pipe, they're all on the as-built for their drawing.
Yeah, I thought I had the sewer as-built plan. I know they have a couple of the manholes here. And then I know the water main up to the hydrant here, the gates were all picked up. And then this portion here, I brought in from the as-built plan.
Okay.
It's an
What's-
8-inch water.
What's that lateral that's like to the left of Atlantic on Atlantic Avenue? What's that?
I really, I apologize. I should have taken that off. That was, the original survey stopped the pavement section there. And they left a line there. There is no utility there. I will get that off the plan.
Okay, so that's the edge of like new pavement from the bridge.
Yeah,
And the old starts to the left. Okay.
right.
Yeah, that's all I have. Sorry, there's no quorum, but I guess I'll leave the Paul and go on the next agenda.
Yeah, so so there's no quorum, so basically you guys
Yep.
are having a discussion over the 205 Atlantic Ave, which is fine. If you're satisfied with where they are on the plans, she's just gonna double check with the overlay for
MassDOT.
MassDOT, and then just check with water. I don't know if you have to check with the water commission or not, but I think those are the only two items. I didn't want to give too much opinion since it's not a form. And then the only other thing we had on our agenda was the effluent pump, and we have a quote, an updated quote, which is great. Now we just have to wait for town meeting to approve the funding, and we can move forward with it.
Very good. And what, just that's in the influent, or was it the effluent in the wastewater treatment plant, Scott?
Yes, correct. The effluent tank.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so Brian, I don't think you were on last time. So I went in front of capital budget, and we put forth two articles in the warrant. One is for the grant where we come up with the 90,000. And the other one is for this pump system, which I put in 500,000. And we're gonna finance it over 5 years.
Okay.
That's the plan. And then I have a meeting this afternoon at 1 o'clock with the finance director, Corey, to
Mhm.
to kind of understand the finance side of it. And I'm waiting to hear from Barbara from Water on how she calculates the revenue model from their side.
Brenda,
Oh, I'm sorry, Brenda. Yeah,
Very
I haven't
good.
heard. Yeah, so I'm just trying to take hold of the financial side. I know there was a disconnect when John Beck passed away. I kind of picked it up with Don Piet, and then when Don Piet left, we haven't heard from anybody. So we've just been dealing directly with Michelle Leary from time to time, but I now have a good idea of what reports that we're going to have monthly from Carol,
Mhm.
so that we can review this on a regular basis. And then there's a master spreadsheet that Michelle said she would update for us. I'm just waiting to hear from her on that.
Sounds good.
So we have retained earnings. I just don't know at what rates we retain. So, I don't know if it took us a week to get it, or 2 or 3 years to get the amount that's in there. So that we just have to figure that part of it out.
Yeah, I think Corey would be able to hopefully be able to help you with that. And just
Okay.
a point of clarification, she's town accountant and Chris is the finance director de facto, I guess. So,
Until they hire one. Okay.
but at any rate, she's the one with the information.
Okay. Awesome.
Brian, if you find those MassDOT plans, CC me too.
Yeah, we'll do.
Thanks.
And I just have a feeling, I mean, I've looked at them before in the past 5 years, and it's been, I know the set is like, I don't know, 500 sheets or something crazy.
Dropbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Thanks, Deb. Appreciate your time.
No problem. Well, when would be your next meeting, just so I can put it on my calendar?
It's going to be Wednesday, the 22nd of
10th.
May.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
All righty.
Have a-
So
have a
Carol,
good
you
day.
can, you can note that
yes.
the 22nd.
Mm-hmm. And I will follow up on Costello.
Thanks. And I'll
Thank you.
send out the waiver form.
Okay, does anybody have anything else you want to talk about?
I guess I'll just mention to Scott, I know he's gonna be busy over the next 3 days, hopefully not as busy as potentially.
Yeah.
But if you just keep an eye on that manhole that, down behind the Legion there. And I know you guys have done like a ton of heroics and like balancing act. But if we're getting to the point where we're gonna surcharge the gravity where it might surcharge the manholes, I think we're probably better off diverting. And I'll leave it, Dan.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Brian. That's something that we are absolutely gonna do. Yep.
Cool.
Hey, does that new building, the condos that are on that side? Remember we had to go through their garage to go out the backside to get to their manhole. Does that tie into that manhole?
It's they're just downstream of the manhole. So the gravity basically from Border Street and Summer Street all come in behind the Legion and
Yep.
then cross the the open channel there.
Yeah.
They go into the 2 new manholes that they installed behind that new building, and then it
Okay.
continues on like down through the backyards into the sewer plant.
Okay. All right. I just didn't know if any of this new construction may start having any adverse effects on us right now.
Yeah, theirs seemed to have been watertight, and the top of the manhole that was behind the Legion was a little degraded, and it looked like there may have been some push out there. So Rosanna Davis came in and they repaired the entire top of that manhole structure. So
Okay.
anyway, we're just
Awesome. All right.
All right.
Well, thank you guys very much. I appreciate all your time.
Thank
And,
you.
uh,
Okay,
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a
everyone.
great day.
All right, bye.
Thank
You
you. Good
too.
luck to you. Take care.
Bye.